computer. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Okay. So, really quickly, Robin McGee's my name. Michelle and Anna, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It is going to be very fast. I know that you're giving your dedicated time to this, so I can't thank you enough. The zoo was not wanting to be in this process only because they wanted you to feel like you could speak freely, say what you wanted to say, and then give feedback that they're going to watch. And as I was telling Michelle, there was two people here yesterday, two people last Wednesday representing different families. And then I have some other meetups that I'm doing, but they're trying to get as much feedback as possible to try to kind of get intel to decide next steps. So I'll ask the question and I'll kind of give you what my answer would be just to give you a idea of kind of, how to answer or what you want to answer. And
Okay.
that gives you a little chance to think about it. And whatever you say was just going to be sent to them. And then I'm also going to send out Google Forms. If you could just fill that out as well, just to
Okay.
give them some data that they can look at in reference to age groups and stuff like that. Okay.
Sure.
So the first question is, how often do you visit the zoo and what is your favorite thing? And my answer would be that I visit quarterly, at least. I take my niece and nephews now that my kids are 22 and 19, but I still like to go. And then my favorite thing is I love when they have like the zoo light events or feeding the giraffes, anything kind of the special event type stuff, are the interactive things are things that I like.
Okay. Let's see. We go when we have active membership, we try to go at least two times a month,
Mhm.
usually from like September to April because the summer months are really hot for my girls because they get bloody noses really bad. So we'll try to go two times a month. Um, and when we do have a active membership, we try to go to the events like trick or treat at the zoo or zoo lights.
Yeah.
um, we've been before to zoo, the ice cream safari,
Mhm.
so that was nice. My personal favorite thing at the zoo is the giraffes.
Yeah.
I love to see them and then to be able to go feed them. And my daughter recently went with my wife and she really loved being able to feed the giraffe. She had a good time there.
Yeah.
And then she really enjoyed the stingrays and she was very nervous. And so she thought they were going to poke her. And then my wife explained to her that, their tails they take care of it so it's safe. And then she was all for it, like just deep into it. And so both of my middle kids, they're 7 and 8, they've both been to the summer zoo camps. They love them.
I love it.
And yeah. And then the ones offered through Fresno Unified. And then my 7-year-old, she loves to go to the zoo. We try to do dates with our girls individually so that way they get one-on-one time with us.
Mhm.
And she's always wanting to go with my wife to the zoo. That is one of her favorite memories from when she was 4. They had a zoo date by themselves, just the two of them. And just for her, that's her thing. My oldest is 13, so she likes to look at things, but
How old?
13.
What's the age of your kids?
I have a 13-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a just 2-year-old.
I love it. That's cool. Awesome. Okay,
Full
perfect.
house.
That is. Okay, Michelle.
Yeah, I go about 6 times a year, like every other month. I try to go to all of the special events, Zoo Boo, the trick-or-treating, the lights. I love the interactive. I really love the Illuminature. I think it really adds such a special feature to the zoo itself.
Mhm.
And I've done a wedding there, so like that was a really fun event to like take part of. And I do love the giraffe feeding. I just did the stingray like yesterday for the first time, so that was a fun add-on that I had never done before. Um, yeah, and
Love that.
that's it. Yeah, I do. I think. Oh, and I want to say I love the like the seating area, being able to like look out onto the African
Right.
safari. Like I think that's like a really nice feature that a lot of other zoos don't have. That like
Right.
interactive like seating area that you can like still participate and still
Yeah.
be watching animals. while
and have the
you're,
kids play safe while they're doing, yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. Hmm.
So are you members or have you been members at any time? So for me, I used to be a member, but then I forgot because, and then I keep saying it needs to be like on automatic renewal.
Hmm.
But some people have said that they have been members, but they haven't renewed because their kids are older now. Is that the case for either of you?
We have been members. Right now, we're not currently members,
Mhm.
but we are talking about renewing because now we have a 2-year-old, and so he's so into life.
Yeah.
And then it's, once you pay for your membership, you can go,
Every
as
day,
many
yeah.
times as you want, and that's the really nice part about that. So, we are talking about that. I think his aunts are going to get him a family membership for his birthday,
That's
which just
awesome.
passed. So I'm kind of waiting to see what happens before I, put
But
mine
the
out
bullet,
there. But yeah, the zoo is a special place for us. I think because my wife took me there for the first time, and then she proposed to me
oh,
at Roding Park.
Oh,
So
oh, wow.
it's really really nice.
I
That's
love that.
just one of our favorite things that we do because it's, when you have your membership, you can just go and take a snack and just spend the day there.
Yep.
And so, especially now, right now, I'm not working, we'll be able to explore a little bit more stuff, like the water stuff that wasn't active
Yeah.
when we were going before, or, the treehouse, a lot of the new stuff we haven't, I personally haven't seen the new Asian exhibit.
Oh, you'll
We
love
went
it.
to Illuminature, but there was an incident, and so I didn't see it, but my kids did because they were with their aunts, so they took them through the rest of that. So I'm looking forward to going back again.
That's awesome. And Michelle, what about you?
yeah. I've never been a member, but we're probably going to be doing it this year, especially with grandma. She takes care of our daughter t 2 days a week, so it's like would be a good excursion just for her to like go do for a few hours.
Yeah.
Now that Madeline's about to turn 2, she's
And I
a little
think
bit
they have a
more.
membership that you can have a grandparent in it too.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Awesome.
not currently members, never been, but soon to be.
Perfect. Okay, now next question is how would you like Pride to be celebrated for your family at the zoo? And so for me,
Um,
I
but
talked, so if I was to say this, I would say that I would just like the community event because my kids are older and I would like them to be able to see that our families are being recognized uniquely and with dignity.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love the family events. I love the kids like us events that happening. So if we could do like a partnership or something, I think that would be a really fun experience. Um, and I really liked that we did that. Remember, I don't know, last year we did that Playland Day where we like kind of shut down. Like that was a really fun experience. So I think something similar with for Fresno for at the zoo would be really fun.
Okay. And
um,
how would you like Pride to be celebrated at the zoo?
I like the idea of a community event because, I feel like while we are a different type of family, we're still a family, and we should be able to be with other people even with different types of families. But I actually think that maybe a private event at the zoo would be cool if they would be willing to, to do that. We have not made it out to the pride events because something just always seems to happen, unfortunately.
Right.
But we, celebrate, and we definitely advertise it. I'm an admin of a free and cheap Fresno family activities group on Facebook. And so I always include zoo events there. And then I include pride things. I don't throw too much in there where people feel like that's where I'm trying to push my
Yeah.
agenda, but I will just, post a couple in there. So, but yeah, I think that's,
I would love to be a
really,
member of that page. That sounds awesome.
we do our best to find things to,
Yeah,
share with families because not everybody knows about the things. So,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. All right.
yeah.
And Michelle, did you have anything connected to Pride that was it? Just having an
No,
event that you could go to.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, the next question is, when would such a celebration be most convenient? And I'm not going to answer this one because I want you. When would a Pride event be most convenient for you and your family? Is it June or is it another time?
I think June like is really hot, and so that's like not my favorite time. I mean, just in the Central Valley, so
Yeah.
that can be kind of, but maybe it's like a morning event, like that would be kind of cool if it was just like early morning, like breakfast, and then we're out, kind
Yep.
of quote unquote out of it if you want by 11 or whatever before it gets like too hot.
Yep.
But I think something having like not just in the month of June, but something like later on, maybe mid-year, so we kind of hit like multiple points throughout the year would be a good experience.
Yep.
I have to agree, summers in the Central Valley are really rough. But if we, in June, earlier morning event would be great because that's when it is a lot cooler. And it's also a great transition to people just staying more at the zoo and then taking advantage of the water things and, that kind of stuff. That's really nice. Um, but then, also I could definitely, you know, see maybe there be something like, in October when it's not too cold, but it's still cooler, you know.
And National Coming Out Day
I was
are,
just gonna
Yeah,
yeah,
say
yeah,
October
our,
11th. Yep.
yeah, our
yeah,
LGBT History Month is October too.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that would
Good
be
idea.
nice. That would be a good.
Yeah. Okay, and the next question is, at other Pride celebrations, what do you find most meaningful? When you go to a Pride event, what's most meaningful to you?
I think for us, it's seeing there's other families that are just like us because my kids have really noticed that. Like for example, my 8-year-old was playing soccer, and another girl on her team also has two moms, and then so we connected with them also at the parade, and then my older daughter, she saw a friend at the parade, and I guess his sister was, part of the LGBT family, so he was there,
Wow, that's
and
cool.
and then so our mom friends and our mom group, are we're kind of just all inclusive, and everybody has just something, and so everybody goes, and so we tend to all connect there, and just especially seeing families like ours, because ours is different, it's two moms and kids that are adopted, and it's so for them, I think that's the whole thing for them to connect with other people.
I
And then
love
they
it.
really enjoy watching the floats, and when we go to the festival, my 8-year-old loves watching the drag queens, and they have been so kind to her, so
Oh,
kind.
sweet.
And she really loves it. She's just like, Mom, they're just people and they like to wear dresses. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, they want to wear a dress. You don't like to wear a dress. Hey, it's okay. That's
Yeah,
that's how they feel. That's how you feel.
I love
So
it.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yeah, I totally agree. Community, seeing other families that are like us represented, just knowing because unfortunately the Valley can be so conservative in a lot of its ideologies. And so just showcasing like there are a lot of us out here and we are a family and we just like stay united in the current times of what is happening in our world right now, just like
Exactly.
keeping that community strong. Um,
To have
yeah,
that
I
sense
think
of
that's really
community.
important. Yeah.
And
And
then,
like on a separate note, I feel
yeah,
like just like a little tangent, I feel like we need a different or a better situation to watch Pride on Olive, like with families, because it's like a lot of bars and like that's the only like shade that there is. And like I feel like that there's needs to be a better situation for families to like find some kind of like shade and like be able
right.
to I don't know. It just is always so crowded. I don't know how to fix that, but that was just
Okay,
something I
well,
was thinking
pro
about. Just
tip
like,
is you go to Irene's early and you get a table
yeah,
at Irene's, and then that way your family, like grandparents, and can sit at the table.
yeah,
I've been doing that every year, and I get there at 7 a.m.
okay.
And so that's a pro
my
tip.
God.
But yeah, take
But
over
can
the
you still
patio.
see everything? Because isn't everybody just like in front of you?
Well, no, because what happens is like you see, I mean, it's hard for a family to stand up for that long anyway.
Yeah.
So you kind of go
I've
out
been
when you
going
see things.
to,
Yeah, and you don't leave your table. Like your grandparents might sit
yeah,
at the table and just watch it go by, but you could walk the kid out,
yeah.
see it, and then come back.
I've been doing the Lincoln Pub like
Oh yeah,
outside buying their booth, but at some point they're going to tell me that Madeline is too old to be at a bar
that's
there.
funny. But it's a grill too.
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. I totally get it.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that leads to that this kind of ties in. So what is something that is missing from Pride events that you would love to see at more Pride events? And I'll give you one example that people have talked about is having a teen meetup or having a toddler meetup where the parents get to connect where the little kids get to play. So that's
hmm
something that's been said. So what, when you go to Pride events, what's missing or that you think would be more meaningful?
I definitely agree about that. A teen meetup. While my daughter does have a boyfriend, she has said that she is bi. So, she was able to go to the LGBT prom last year and she really had a good time there. She was very nervous because, you know, she's the oldest of all our mom friends as kids. So she doesn't really have somebody her age, and so
Right.
that would be really great for her because then maybe she could make some friends and feel a little bit, more, you know,
Connected to other people,
included.
even if it's
Yeah.
just connected to other people who have families like hers.
Yeah. And then
Totally.
yeah, definitely like, even a toddler meetup, that's pretty cool for parents to, network and stuff. Especially if you don't have like a kid and kids in grade school like we
Right.
do. Um, and then I think, and one of my favorite things, and it always happened it happened a lot before we got our girls, is I really supported the story time with a drag queen. Leilani Price is
Mhm.
one of my favorite drag queens.
Mhm.
And so she was going to have a story time and then COVID hit. And then since then, we haven't had those. So I don't know if, that would be really fun because then kids, could see, this is also a regular person and they're just, like my daughter said, they like to be fancy and have glitter,
Yeah,
and you know,
it gets
she
that.
just, yeah, that
Yeah.
would be really great.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think having more community like meetups and ways to connect outside of just the festival and event could be like something, I guess, more throughout the month of June or just throughout the year of where we can connect on an ongoing basis and make those community friendships and uplift and
Yeah.
like showcase different programs and groups and things like that that can help our community and connect us together.
Yeah, someone said maybe having an author from one of the books that talks about same-sex relationships in the animal kingdom, like the Penguin Tango, uh,
Yeah,
and having the author come and do a reading, and then families kind of convalesce around that. So,
totally.
yeah, great ideas. Okay, cool. Any last comments, thoughts, questions?
Mm, I don't think so. I think I appreciate Robin, everything that you do all the time. You're
You know,
constantly fighting for all of us. So
yeah,
appreciate you
yeah.
and
Thank,
reaching out.
thank you. Anna,
Yes.
anything?
No, I really do appreciate you reaching out. This really was nice to be involved. I just think
And this is the
maybe,
zoo, so I'll make sure that they get y'all's comments that
yeah,
you appreciate they wanted your feedback.
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We haven't been to a Zoo Pride event, like I said before, but just maybe because we haven't been, I'm just going to suggest this because I don't know what it's like. I don't know if there's people who come and they protest, but if there's, something we could like push them a little bit away. I know they have the right to their free speech, and I totally understand that. But, just so that way, maybe the younger kids don't get upset
That's
because
great.
my
Yeah.
my daughters are like, we're just regular people, mom. You and mom just love each other,
Yeah.
and so that would just to share. I don't know what it's like, but we definitely would love to go this year. So
Well, I know that at the one that I went to last year, there were no protesters. I
Yeah.
don't know what it was
Hmm.
like the year before, where they had the drag queen and there was like a big, there was 400 people there and it made lots of press. But I know for
Yeah.
last year there was no. I didn't notice any. Did you know anything, Michelle?
I didn't. No,
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't notice any
well,
protesters. Yeah.
yeah.
that's
So
good.
that's been
So
great.
yeah, so I think that the other thing that people have talked about is just getting the word out. And it's
Hmm.
hard with so many things, it's like information overload with stuff that's online. Uh
Yeah.
so it's just making sure that people know early, like save the date, it's going to be now, don't miss this.
Yeah,
They could
exactly.
also do, I don't know how much like Fresno Zoo does email marketing and campaigns, but if they have that like opt-in of like, would you want to be informed on any LGBTQ plus events, then they can kind of filter out their email
Yes.
campaign and marketing to specifically send those, newsletters to those individuals so
Yeah.
that we're kind of limiting,
Yeah.
you're not limiting, but just
Yeah.
kind of weeding out maybe some people who don't want to be involved and
Yeah.
don't need to be there.
Exactly. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
just kind of maybe being like made aware to people who want to share, like, I want to share in my group about, this is coming out. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't even know this was happening at the zoo, even with other events,
Yep.
and not everybody does what I do, at least once a month and go and look on the zoo website as they're, or on their Facebook. Are they having something that I can promote, and so not
Exactly.
everybody does that. That
Exactly.
way we could share the word, I mean, even on the Fresno Reddit page, they're like, oh, I didn't even know about that. And I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, let me share this with you too.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. It sounds like you're a wealth of information on events that are happening.
I try to be, I
I
mean,
love that. I
with
love
kids,
that.
you try to find something to do.
Yeah, I totally get it. I used to do the same thing. I'd go to like the camp fair and I'd read the Fresno Parenting magazine to hear what was happening that was cheap and free. I get it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, thank you guys so much. And I really appreciate you taking the time. I will send this to the zoo and then I'll also send out, you got the email, right? When I sent the emails out?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you get the email?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get the email, Michelle? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, I
I'll
did.
send out a Google form so you can fill that out too.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you all.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.